Is this the future of robot vacuums? My name is Jamie Andrews, and this is the much anticipated Eufy S1 Pro. Mach was the code name used while developing the product, and I think it's a neat thing to see the name make it all the way to production. So what makes this the future of robot vacuums? For one, just take a look at the design, which stands out in a crowded marketplace of robots that pretty much all look the same. The second futuristic design is with the LiDAR system, which is front-mounted to reduce the overall height of the robot. And finally, we have the mopping system, which is a roller-style self-cleaning mop normally found on large upright wet-dry mops. We will be sure to dive into the impacts of these changes and more, so let's go ahead and take a closer look. Starting with the front of the robot with its 3D matrix object avoidance system that consists of a camera and structured light sensors, along with housing that front 220-degree LiDAR for navigating and mapping your house. The entire shiny black front cover acts as a bumper. On the right side, we see an exhaust outlet for the vacuum motor and a side-mounted wall sensor. On the left side, we see an LED light which illuminates when the S1 Pro has its mop down. Around back, we see a set of charging contacts and 2 fill ports for the rather large onboard 240ml clean water tank. Up top, we have 2 buttons, a home and a start-stop button. Under the lid, which is held on with a series of magnets, we find a set of maintenance instructions, a QR code for the tutorial videos, and a code for the manual in case you happen to lose the one included in the box. The dustbin is on the smaller side at 250ml. There is a mesh pre-filter and a paper washable E11 rated filter. You also get a spare one in the box. Under the lid, we find a Wi-Fi reset button and indicator light, along with an on-off power switch. To the right is another QR code to download the Eufy Mach app. Flipping the robot over, we see a set of cliff sensors, a dedicated carpet detection sensor, and 2 side spinning brushes. In the middle, we see 2 ports, one for airflow and the other for dirt extraction into the dock. Under the roller brush cover, we have an all-rubber roller brush. One end is not detachable as it's not needed, while the red end is. The S1 Pro also comes with a 4600 mAh battery. On the back, we see a dirty water port, which is used to drain the water out of the robot and into the dock. Pushing a button on the left side of the roller allows it to detach, and it just slides right off the axle. The mop roller reminds me of the ones I have reviewed on wet-dry mops in the past. It is pretty easy to remove and reinstall. The dirty water tank, which is 220ml in size, has a top door for easy access to clean it out, which also exposes some of the plumbing pipes. Water is extracted from this point in the bottom. Around back, we have a removable mesh screen filter, which will need to be cleaned every so often. When the roller brush is spinning, clean water is being applied from the robot, and the roller is also scraping off dirty water on this edge. That dirty water drains down through this red filter, which catches large dirt and debris while the water drains into the tank through this hole in the very back. Eufy does give you a cleaning brush to help with the cleaning of the screen. Moving on to the dock, which looks like something out of the Jetsons. Up front, we have a translucent 3-liter water tank, and inside we see the ozone generating device, which electrolyzes the water to produce ozones, which claims to help sterilize the floor and the mop roller. Instead of a lid that comes off, there is a fill port on the left-hand side. Under the water tank, you will also find a door that houses the 2.5-liter dust bag. A spare one is included in the box. Around back, we have a 2-liter dirty water tank, which houses the dirty water that is removed from the robot. This one does have a lid that opens for the ease of cleaning. The S1 Pro comes with detergent injection, and included is a 600ml detergent tank that gets installed into the dock. This takes the guesswork out of premixing detergent for mop washing and for filling the robot's onboard water tank. The dock is equipped with a small color LCD screen that shows the charging percentage along with the current status of the robot. Besides that, you have 3 dock buttons, a home button, a start, stop, pause button, and a function button that allows you to switch easily between vacuum only or vacuum and mop mode. Press it for 3 seconds to start a mop wash and dry cycle. Looking at the base, we see those 2 air ports that coincide with the bottom of the robot, designed to remove the dirt from the robot's internal dustbin. The drain plate is removable for easy cleaning. Water drains from the dirty water tank through this tray down into the base, where it is sucked up into the dirty water tank. The hot air for drying the roller comes out right behind this lip. Moving on to the testing, starting with the carpet pickup test, where I scatter 54 grams of rice on medium pile carpet and send it out in max vacuum mode to pick up as much as possible. The S1 Pro is equipped with an 8,000 Pascal vacuum motor. Keep in mind, I run all of my tests multiple times for consistency, and in this test it was able to pick up 48 grams or 88% of the rice, which is a bit below average. However, slightly better than the Eufy X10 Pro. Next up is the tile pickup test, where I scatter 130 grams of cat litter on my tile floor and send the S1 Pro out once again in max power mode with 1 pass to pick up as much as it can. It improved quite a bit, picking up 122 grams or 94%, which is well above average for this test. Now for the sound levels. The vacuum motor on standard power produces around 65 decibels of sound, and when boosted all the way up to max, it goes up to 76 decibels, all from about 5 feet away. Next is the mopping test, where I use 4 milliliters of baked on hot sauce on my tile floor and send the S1 Pro out with room temperature water, and I gave it 2 passes to mop up as much as it can. The S1 Pro is actually at a disadvantage here because it does not have an option for deep mopping mode, which would allow it to make tighter zigzag passes over the stains. Now that's okay though, because it did not hurt it, as it was able to clean up all the hot sauce by the second pass. Pretty impressive. The S1 Pro is equipped with a self-cleaning mop, so it's not too much of a surprise to see that after this test a large portion of the stains were already cleaned away. However, after a mopping job, the S1 Pro goes back to the dock for a deeper self-washing using more water from the dock, 200 milliliters to be exact. As you can see, after the self-cleaning on the dock, most of the hot sauce stain is gone, which is very impressive. While we're talking about the dock, let's do some additional tests with it. After the rollers have been washed, there is a self-drying mode that you have 2 settings to choose from. Standard drying, which lasts 4.5 hours, and quick drying, which lasts 3.5 hours. I found after the standard drying process that the roller was completely dry. During the drying process, the dock pulls about 1.5 amps and 183 watts of power. Next, I tested the ability of the dock to empty a completely full dustbin. There is a setting in the app that will allow the robot to return to the base in as little as 161 square feet to empty the dustbin. This works in vacuum only or mop and vacuum mode, and thankfully it works quite well, as it always completely empties the dustbin. While it is running from about 6 feet away, it produces 76 decibels of sound, which is about average. As far as power consumption, it pulls 6 amps and 550 watts of power. Cleaning the dock is fairly painless due to the fact that when the robot docks, it performs a self-cleaning that is self-contained. This means that you are never left with a wet, nasty mess on the dock tray. You will need to remove the dock tray though to clean it off, and I also found a good bit of dirt was deposited at the front lip, which I used a stick vacuum with a brush to clean it up. It's not a very involved process. The next test is the obstacle avoidance test, where I place common items in my living room and send the S1 Pro out to hopefully avoid all of them. The Eufy S1 Pro not only has a lower mounted LiDAR sensor, but it also has a camera and structured light sensor, so it was no real surprise when it was able to completely avoid all the items in my test, which is very good. In the app, you can't see photos of the objects it avoids, but it does indicate with an icon which items it detected. The S1 Pro does have the ability to mop and vacuum at the same time, so when it crosses onto carpets or rugs, it is able to lift the mop roller a whole 12 millimeters, which did not wet my medium pile carpets at all. Okay, let's go over some pros and cons, starting with the things that I did not like about the S1 Pro. While the S1 Pro does remove dirty water from the floor, which it is a pro, it also means that you will need to do some additional maintenance over the traditional robot, like the Eufy X10 Pro. For one, the rear filter will need to be removed and cleaned after just a few jobs. If it gets too clogged, you will get a warning telling you to clean the screen. I also wish one of the dock buttons allowed the robot to leave the dock for this maintenance. The entire process is not hard, but while you're at it, you also want to clean out the dirty water tank in the robot, which leads me to my next con. Even after draining the water tank into the dock, I always found just a bit of water left in the tank. If it's not being used on a daily basis, this will start to smell bad, so you may want to clean this out more frequently. You must ensure the lid is tightly closed and the tank is installed in the robot completely, or you will not be able to drain properly, giving you an error. The next con is there is no mop only mode likely to help keep the screen clear of debris. I know many people have asked about this cleaning up large wet spills, and I don't recommend it since there's no way to switch off the vacuum and you don't want liquid in the dustbin or vacuum motor. Don't do it. A few minor cons are that there is no way to turn off object avoidance if you wish. This is uncommon, especially with it having a camera on the front of the robot. Drying the mop takes a good bit longer than other comparable robots, and while it is drying, every so often it rotates the mop roller, which makes a bit of a sound. It's not too loud at all, but it does catch your attention if you're in the same room. Okay, moving on to the pros and the things that I did like, and I have to start with the mop. It really impressed me with its ability to clean in my testing. I love the fact that it is applying fresh water to the mop and removing dirty water, which is a huge benefit as other mops just drag a dirty mop cloth across your floors, and most don't do a good job at keeping the mop pad evenly wet, which is not the case here at all. The mop cleans my floors better than any robot tested to date, and the dirty water coming out of it proves that it is removing dirt, not just pushing it around my house. The next pro is with the excellent self-cleaning ability. After all of my testing, the roller looks brand new, and there is zero buildup inside the robot itself. Also, no hair has been wrapped around the drive motor axle. The mop lifts high to cross carpets, and it never made even the slightest contact with any of my carpets or rugs. The programming here is the best I have seen on a robot with a lifting mop. Having a front-mounted LiDAR means that it has much more reach under furniture and is less likely to get stuck. The app is easy to use and well laid out. The settings are minimal, but I am okay with this as I realize some people want a more simple, clean interface, and this app is just that. No issues with mapping or dividing the rooms. The dock, for me, is just simply brilliant. An excellent use of space, and I especially appreciate it being tall, so I don't have to bend over to remove the water tanks. I also love the clear water tank up front, so I can easily see the level with just a glance. I know looks is subjective, but the robot and the dock look like nothing else, and in my opinion is very attractive, with several LED light rings and a very futuristic design. Just look at this thing at night. Okay, before my conclusion, I have to mention something that is both a pro and con. The Eufy S1 Pro navigates around furniture in your home better than any robot tested to date, which is amazing for a square-shaped robot. I have yet to see it bump into anything at all, and it is designed to protect your furniture, which I know most people will be happy about. So why is this a con, you say? It means it won't clean as close to the furniture or walls. For example, in my corner pickup test being a square shape, it should have aced this test, but it did not because it won't get too close to the wall. This also means edge mopping is not the greatest. I measured about 10 millimeters from the baseboard. I'm not sure which is more important to you. For me, it's not bumping into my furniture, so for me it's a pro. In conclusion, the Eufy S1 Pro is a very different robot, and it stands out in a crowded marketplace. and for the most part, I think it's a good thing. There is some room for improvement with the robot's dirty water tank maintenance and with improving the carpet cleaning ability as shown in my carpet pickup test. On the other hand, with its attractive futuristic looks, chart-topping mopping ability, excellent self-cleaning system, and top-tier navigation, it certainly feels like Eufy has pulled ahead of the competition with this innovative design. I was hesitant at first to think that this could be the new standard for a mop on a robot, but after living with the S1 Pro in my home for the past several months, I can honestly say I think it might just be. Kudos to the team at Eufy for pushing the envelope and for not being scared to shake things up a bit. It is certainly apparent by the overwhelming demand for this video review that they have done just that. If you're looking for an unbiased review on YouTube for a robot, you have come to the right place. Make sure you help to support channels like mine by first hitting that subscribe button right now, and by sharing this channel with your friends and family. Thanks for the support, and take it easy out there, folks. Bye-bye.